Breaking news! The Lagena brothers have just found something that made them shudder, and the once buzzing dig ended abruptly. What terrifying mystery have they concealed? The reality they discovered might never be accepted by the world. The History Channel's popular reality series, The Curse of Oak Island, has come under fire in recent weeks following the discovery of some centuries-old indigenous artifacts, which prompted local officials to shut down a large portion of the show's dig operation, causing several archaeologists to be sent packing. Fans are already speculating as to whether the Laginas and their crew will ever experience a return to normalcy, not to mention the future of Oak Island. During the final dig on the island, the Lagena brothers and their crew unearthed a bizarre find leading to the closure of Excavation. While the Lagena brothers and metal detector specialist Gary Drayton have mostly found mud, wood, and other metal implements on the 140 acres of the purportedly cursed Oak Island, they have also found a number of rare artifacts. But what precisely are these insane discoveries they managed during the final excavation in the whimsical realm of Oak Island? There is yet another challenge for the men on the Curse of Oak Island. In an effort to prevent them from digging on the island, the Canadian government intervened. Finding underground entrances to what they think is the riches was the objective, though. Regrettably, bureaucracy is getting in the way. The team discovered what could have been a hidden room next to the garden shaft. Doug engaged Dumas Contracting Limited to come in and work as excavators to dig them down and into these potential chambers. He did this by giving them a call. They think they have discovered pathways leading to a potential hidden treasure on the island. The crew was forced to wait since it would take 50 days to descend 75 feet as a result. They thought they may have just discovered a network of tunnels and chambers leading to the fabled hidden wealth. Additionally, they think one of the artifacts they discovered was of Viking provenance, which is much older than they had anticipated. But there is a new issue now. The hire of excavators, according to the Canadian government, indicates that the Lagena brothers require a mining warrant. Even though they are not officially mining, red tape has once again turned the authorities against the crew searching for wealth. Great height until now. This season left them, and their fans shocked when they brought such discoveries to the audience's platter. However, things will take to the next level in The Curse of Oak Island Season 10, Episode 25, when the new discoveries connect all the pieces together. So, are they close to locating the treasure? Well, fans are curious to learn this, and the hits keep coming. The next episode will solve another enigma. On Lot 5, Laird Niven resumes his excavation work. The crew will search for the secret buried beneath the triangle-shaped marsh as they move on. The team will continue digging, but they will soon get startling information that links Lot 5 to the triangle-shaped marsh. When the crew keeps digging in Money Pit, they'll also discover a remarkable discovery. They are now more prepared than ever to solve the puzzle. Marty, Craig, and Charles have been getting ready to down the 82-foot shaft for the past week. The crew didn't think there could be a tunnel underneath the shaft's terminus, since one of the sides kept sinking. They chose to independently verify it despite this theory. Charles made the decision to go first and offer his services to everybody, but he had to go through specialized training first in order to achieve this. He descended and observed the garden shaft's dropping corner. After what he had seen, the group decided to dig at the bottom to see if there were any potential tunnels nearby. Marty, though, placed a hold on it. He intended to perform a self-check but needed more time to complete his dedicated training. Meanwhile, Alex, Rick, and Peter traveled to Italy to consult Umberto Musa, a specialist in coins and artifacts from antiquity. He examined the coins and found Oak Island had some ties to the Roman Empire as well. This happened as a result of one of the coins being a Roman coin. Byzantine gold coins were weighed against another coin to determine whether or not they were genuine. Laird Niven's continuing drilling on Lot 5 resulted in their most recent finding. In the meantime, Rick kept searching for answers in the area known as Nolan's Cross, but for the time being, the group keeps looking into the enigmatic circular depression in the marsh. They discover ceramic shards and charcoal fragments that they surmise may be remnants of a cooking pot or a campfire. The lead artifact that was discovered in the swamp is examined by experts in the war room. They think it is a lead cross and that it was probably made in France. This could be proof that the French had anything to do with the Oak Island enigma. The group looked for tunnels beneath the garden shaft using a probing drill. They discovered a little quantity of wood that could be proof of a tunnel. This time, Gary Drayton uses a metal detector to check the recent spoil. Glass from the 18th century was recently discovered deep within a cave. Both professionals, scientists, and other researchers are interested in this unexpected discovery. With the arrival of Craig Tester, who works with Rick and Marty Lagina, as well as fellow landowner Tom Nolan and other members of the team, the study into the enigma known as the Great Quadrilateral is resumed. Approximately 32 feet long and composed of stones, the object in issue may have been created hundreds of years ago, according to Fred. He drew a diagram in the 1990s, and the crew is now excavating the northeastern part of the quadrilateral. They are trying to find out who created it and why, in the hopes of discovering these things. Treasure hunter Gary Drayton will examine the finds for important hints and indicators of the location of the treasure as metal detectorist Billy Gerhardt excavates the feature. This finding might offer the team yet another nugget of knowledge on the period of time during which this feature was created. They dug deeper and tried to raise something, but it was a big curved piece of iron, and it was incredibly difficult. An 18th century glass was discovered in a rectangle that was dug up deep during the excavation. Due to the way it was coiled, its size, and its weight, they claimed that when the piece of iron arrived there, it reminded them of a chunk of a cannonball. This was brought on by both the size and weight of the particle. One of the crew members disclosed that he had been successful in finding a sizable number of them in the southeast region of the country. It may or may not be true, in Rick Lagina's opinion, that this finding could offer a significant hint as to who created the so-called Great Quadrilateral. But it's likely that Rick Lagina is right to make his assessment. In that situation, it becomes much more intriguing to think about the topic of what exactly its aim was. This would be a great site to find any wealth that may have been taken to Oak Island and buried there in the past. They all reached the same conclusion after something was pulled up, and then something else was reburied in the same spot. This is definitely unique. They hope to find additional artifacts and come to their own conclusions about what they may mean, since they thought there might be other boulders, and they also thought there might be. The team is currently working on the southern half of the feature, after just finishing the northern portion, where they found several items that may be of great interest. The mystery further intensified and grew more perplexing as they descended beneath the stone layer. The metal detecting expert Gary Drayton and the Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse continue to snoop around on Samuel Ball's property in the 8th episode of the 4th season, The Mystery of Samuel Ball, and turn up a number of intriguing artifacts. This ongoing inquiry is known as The Mystery of Samuel Ball. Drayton and Barkhouse find a dandy button, a sort of button that was often worn on garments in the 1700s, near the start of the tale. They rapidly uncover several coins from the 1700s with King George II's image, as well as a lead ingot used to make musket balls. Drayton had the idea that all of these artifacts might be the remains of a military encampment after discovering what looks to be a metal tag from the bottom of a revolver with a name etched on it, which some online academy be inside. The following morning, Rick Lagina and other crew members returned to Lot 13 so that geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner could look into the enigmatic quadrilateral feature that was providing a crucial clue to the money pit riddle. They felt that it was somewhat improbable that it could have spontaneously accumulated there. Additionally, they saw clay in a variety of colors combined with pieces of burned wood. These two items in no way, shape, or form go together. One of the group members remarked that the clay appeared to be split up and misplaced. There was an event that had a meaningful purpose and took place. There truly must be a reason for everything that happened, since the story is so complicated. There was one little spot that had gotten a little worse. There were striations all over the metal, marking it. The thinness of the points gave the impression that they were made to be pushed into wood. Are you looking for a hand-forged iron staple or fastener? Since the 6th century BC, large metal staples have been employed often in the construction of both stone and wooden structures. Could this manually formed metal fastener be another proof that a structure of some kind is waiting to be revealed at the quadrilateral location? What kind of structure might it be in that situation, presuming the group has previously discovered blue clay, given that information? Anything that took place prior to the money pit's initial discovery has the potential to be considered original work. you will see that this so-called mainstay is actually rather puzzling when compared to the hard work that went into creating the Great Quadrilateral. What, if any, contributions does this facet make to the larger mystery? As of yet, nothing has been decided on that. Carmen Legg, a specialist in blacksmithing, meets with Rick and Marty Lagina, Craig Tester, and archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan at the Oak Island Interpretive Center to study the massive metal staple that was discovered the previous day. Its starting point is a fantastic quadrilateral. Even though it was a strange geometric figure, they had no notion what the specific feature represented. They have found no others of its kind on the island before. There are now countless conjectures regarding the type of wealth that might be hidden on the island, as well as how it got there. However, the William Phipps theory has won over a lot of supporters and is supported by a lot of data. The theory was refuted by writer and history enthusiast Hammerson Peters in a recent video that was posted to his YouTube channel. The majority of the information presented in the movie is taken from the book Oak Island and Its Lost Treasure, which first made the strong case for the conspiracy. The Peters have proposed the following idea, which can be summed up as follows. During the 17th century, William Phipps was a skilled explorer, and the English supported him financially. The Protestant majority, including the political elite and aristocracy, developed a strong dislike for the Catholic king when King James II came to power in 1685. James II adhered to Catholicism, or to put it another way, they planned to depose him. The following stories are word-of-mouth legends from the late 18th century because there is so little information about the early treasure-related operations that occurred on Oak Island that has been objectively verified. It took many years after the incident before publishers began to pay attention to this kind of activity and look into the stories involved. The tale of a treasure found by a settler named Daniel McGinnis was published for the first time in 1857. This is the story's earliest known telling. After that, it was another 5 years before one of the purported original diggers gave a testimony regarding the initial narrative and subsequent Onslow and Truro Company deeds. The earliest settlers in the region heard tales of a dying crew member of Captain Kidd's ship. The man said that Captain Kidd had hidden £2 million worth of treasure on the island. Captain Kidd passed away in 1701. According to the most widely recognized version of the story, Daniel McGinnis came across a dip in the ground in 1799 while looking for a place to build a farm. McGinnis asked for help from other people in order to dig because he believed that the depression fit with the legend surrounding Captain Kidd. With the aid of two people only known by the names John Smith and Anthony Vaughan, he dug out the pit and found a layer of flagstones 2 feet, 61 centimeters below the surface. The earliest documents, however, merely mention marks of some sort at these intervals. Later accounts report finding oak platforms every 10 feet, 3 meters, although previous accounts only make reference to marks. The various legends also mention the tool marks or pick scratches on the hole's walls. The soil was not as well packed as the soil around it, and it was visibly loose. The three men reportedly stopped their digging at a depth of 9.1 meters, 30 feet, because of superstitious dread. In an alternative interpretation of the story, all 4 of the main characters are portrayed as teenagers. According to this account, McGinnis first learns of the slump in 1795 while on a fishing excursion. The rest of the story proceeds in the same manner as the first, with the logs discovered as its focal point, but it ends with the 4 people giving up after they have gone as far as they can. For more current discovery stuff, remember to subscribe. They continued to excavate until they reached a depth of around 90 feet, 27 meters, where they discovered layers of logs, or marks, spaced about 10 feet, 3 meters apart. They also discovered a large stone with symbols engraved onto it, as well as layers of charcoal, putty, and coconut fiber. When the hole unexpectedly filled with water to a depth of 60 feet, 18 meters, the situation for the diggers grew challenging. The alleged dig was finally given up on after repeated fruitless attempts by workers to retrieve the riches from below by excavating a tunnel starting at a second shaft that was equally flooded. The most prosperous company of the pre-publication era is thought to have been the Truro Company, which is said to have been founded in 1849 by a group of investors. Re-excavation of the hole was placed all the way down to a level that was 26 meters, 86 feet below the surface. But it eventually overflowed once more. After that, it was decided to drill 5 boreholes into the machine's original shaft using a pod auger. Recently, scientists made what appears to be a weird discovery in space. Could this be an alien species? To learn more, click the next post. On Lot 8, in a recent episode of The Curse on Oak Island, researchers have finally uncovered substantial proof of a metallic anomaly. Marty, Gary, and the other members of the team investigate Lot 8 after finding a large metallic oddity there. They come uncover a number of unique relics, including a garnet brooch and a piece from a bride's horse, which prompts questions about their origins and any connections. Moreover, they discover a piece of beveled iron, which agrees nicely with the results of the most recent magnetometry investigation. This implies that the object was formerly a broken antique cutting tool. This finding suggests that human activity may have existed in a location that was previously believed to be devoid of people. In order to further understand the significance of this significant metallic anomaly evidence on Lot 8, the team made the decision to acquire additional excavation licenses and consult with experts. The discovery raises questions regarding its provenance and any connections it might have to other local findings. The scholars are intrigued by these unique items and believe that this particular area may hold some special significance. A large piece of iron with a beveled edge is discovered by the Oak Island crew. It may be a broken piece of the ancient adze, a type of cutting tool. This result is noteworthy because it agrees with a recent magnetometry research conducted by the team, which found a significant metallic anomaly in the same area, the same site where the survey was done. Our interest in further investigation of that area is piqued by the discovery of this tool in a place that was previously believed to be uninhabited. The team plans to first obtain a permit to excavate before speaking with various experts in order to determine the significance of this discovery. The secrets surrounding Oak Island keep getting more complicated as the show follows the journey of full-time treasure hunters through each new season. However, you might get the same results with your own gear. Their discoveries with metal detectors open up hitherto unfathomable vistas for historical inquiry. Always make sure to get permission before hunting anywhere, whether it's on someone else's land or a public space. The team of The Curse of Oak Island found some scientific proof that suggests it's possible the money pit holds a sizable amount of silver. They also found a patch of cement that had traces of gold and other metals, which made them think that the most rare metal in the world, osmium, would be buried somewhere in the ethereal depths of Oak Island. There is an island called Oak Island in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. The two brothers Marty and Rick Lagina have, for all intents and purposes, dedicated their entire lives to solving Oak Island's enigma and learning its closely guarded secrets, while harboring the hope of unearthing hidden gold on the island. Despite the fact that they had previously spent many years trying very hard to uncover the island's secrets, but making very little headway in their attempts, it appears that their most recent treasure hunting expedition has really taken a fruitful turn. On Oak Island, the Lagina brothers have made a number of important discoveries. Additionally, the number 13 is believed to have some form of significance, and the Knights Templar, an organization that is already closely associated with many of the artifacts found on Oak Island, are said to be connected in some way. Gary Drayton and his metal detecting team once more find evidence of activity on the island in the 17th century in Dead Man's Chest, the second episode of the 5th season of The Curse of Oak Island. This time, the activity may have been from the military, potentially from pirates, or even from both. The crew finds a 17th century musket ball that was used in weapons before discovering what they think is a maravedi, which is similar to the object found in The Find, the Season 1 finale. The difference is that this currency has been divided up into smaller, easier-to-handle pieces. Coins like the maravedi were often cut in the 17th century to create change. This practice gave origin to the phrase pieces of 8, which was later made well known by the classic pirate novel Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Another puzzle piece that supports the idea that pirates visited the Oak Island coasts. Is it feasible that additional research on piracy has to be done? The Lagina brothers and Gary Drayton continue their search for hidden money in The Curse of Oak Island. Season 5, Episode 3, Obstruction, by looking into the Dunfield spoils. Robert Dunfield dug a hole that was 100 feet wide and 140 feet deep in 1965 in an attempt to find the rumored treasure that was supposed to be hidden on Oak Island. Ultimately, the large hole was filled in on its own, and the search for the treasures proved to be futile. The soil that was taken out during excavation, however, was not put to another use and ended up being called the Dunfield spoils. With the use of a metal detector, the Oak Island crew swiftly located a pair of English coins bearing the likeness of King Charles II on one side and the dates 1673 and 1694 on the other. These two coins' discovery on Oak Island in the 1700s suggests that either English military soldiers or pirates frequented the area. For more recent stuff, don't forget to subscribe and enable post notifications. In an effort to unravel hints about Oak Island's past and refute myths, they visit various parts of the island and speak with locals. The team also discovers gold close to the money pit, indicating that there might be further treasures there that have yet to be discovered. Even though they've encountered some difficulties, the crew continues to move and conduct their inquiry. Season 9 disproved Fred Nolan's claims of an ancient Portuguese presence while supporting Zena Halpern's Templar map. This discovery has restored their trust in their mission. Additionally, the group learns the top 10 Portuguese connections. The Lagina brothers are looking into the disappearance of the riches from Oak Island. The Portuguese Order of Christ, the Knights Baronet, and Prince Henry Sinclair are all seen to be potential contenders for hiding the treasure from Oak Island. The team encountered numerous rumors and plots along the road, which frequently cast a shadow over the wealth itself. Nevertheless, it appears that this season might be the one in which they ultimately succeed. Even though the current season is coming to a close, The Curse of Oak Island. Drilling Down is scheduled to air the next week. In Traverse City, Michigan, Maddie intends to meet with Rick, Marty, Craig, Alex, and Jack, according to the summary. They will review the amazing results of Season 10 and get a sneak preview of what is ahead in 2011. The origins of this mysterious energy are still a topic of discussion among NASA experts. Click the next video to find out more about this enigmatic power.